Joe JH Overcomes, America's friendliest cop. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for coming out. First thing I need you guys to do is let me know if you can hear me. You know how this goes. Sometimes, again, I don't want to start saying anything before you can start hearing me. I talked last week and then I had to start all over again because people couldn't hear me. So if you can hear me, give me a quick thumbs up. Let me know you're all connected. Let me know you're all good here. I'm going to start real quick right here. I'm also on IG Live. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And let's see. Here we go. Here we go. All right. We are good to go. We are good to go. Hey, listen. Thank you, everybody, for coming on out. I want to thank everybody again so much for all the support that they've been giving me, all the support that they've been giving all the coronavirus survivors and all the people out there who are doing their thing. You know, everybody who's out here dealing with COVID-19, everybody who's out here dealing with sickness of some other sort. I want to thank everybody for coming on out and doing things like they're supposed to do for each other. And listen, before we get started, the one thing I want to say is this. If you haven't stopped and thanked your medical professionals, your doctors, your nurses, your hospital staff, and all those things, listen, please give them some love, give them some attention, because they are going through it a lot worse than what we are as law enforcement. Now, I know, listen, as a law enforcement officer, we have gone through things over and over again. And I know that, you know, our brothers and sisters are out there, we're out there doing our thing. But right now, you know, it's really hard for all the medical personnel to be going through what they're going through right now. You know, I've watched them, you know, go through exhaustion. I've watched story after story of people who have been going through depression as medical personnel, anxiety as medical personnel, because they're seeing this over and over and over again every day throughout their life. And they have to go to work and deal with this and then try to go home and have a normal life. So listen, I want to say thank you first and foremost to all the medical personnel. You know, next week, you know, again, I want to stop out. We'll talk about the essential workers, the truck drivers, the store workers and things like that. But right now, I want to shout out the medical personnel, because without our health, nothing else is good enough. All right. I promise you that. So I want to stop in real quick. I want to give you guys a quick overhaul of what's going on with me as far as the coronavirus. You know, I have been feeling better. You know, I'm not 100% yet. You know, I'm still having a little difficulty breathing, so I won't be before you too long. But I wanted to stop in and say hello to you. I wanted to give you guys a quick update about what's going on and where we are with the coronavirus. You know, what progress I've made, you know, what things I've learned along the way too, as far as understanding this coronavirus, and knowing that this is not going to be an overnight deal. You know, this is not going to be a quick fix. This is not going to be something that you just get over. You know, the coronavirus, and, you know, the coronavirus is real. Okay, it's very, very real. And it's important for us to understand that. It's important for us to know that this is not going to be something that you're going to get and it'll just go away if you do get it. I pray that you don't get it, but if you do, just understand this. Just know that it's not going to be a quick fix. It's going to be a patient process. And the reason why I know that is this. You know, I started feeling better the other day. And what happened was, once you start feeling better, you know how it gets. When we start feeling better, we start doing things, right? We may start doing too much. We may start, you know, doing a little bit too much here, pushing ourselves a little bit here. So the other day, you know, I started feeling better. And I jumped on the elliptical machine, like you guys know I do at home. And, you know, I started doing some weights and some, you know, low weights and things like that. But if you do too much too soon, you can fall right back into where you were. You know, I've seen some people who I've spoken to people who were in the hospital. You know, I spoke to one cop's mom this week, and she said that he was on a ventilator for 10 days. They took him off. And then when they took him off, he relapsed. You know, so this thing is very, very real. I don't want you guys to minimize it. I don't want you guys to think that, you know, because the curve is flattening out, that we can go all willy-nilly out here in the streets. You know, continue to stay home. Continue to, if you can stay home, continue to take the precautions that you're supposed to take, because the more you get out here and the more you expose yourself to this disease, okay, the more likely you are to have it. You know, like I told you the other day, before I got diagnosed, and I think you guys may, if you guys haven't saw the article, whatever the case is, go back on my page and read it. But I was walking around with the coronavirus and didn't even realize it. This is happening more and more and more, and people don't even realize they're walking around with it, or they don't want to admit that they're walking around with it. So the reason why I want to stop in today is give you an update on how important it is for you to maintain exactly what they're telling you to do. Don't let your guard down with this thing. Don't let your guard down thinking that it's all good, or, just because you haven't seen somebody really, really sick, or just because it hasn't been in your circle. Don't let your guard down. You have to continue to be vigilant with this thing. Now, I'm not saying that you have to live in fear. Okay. I'm not saying that you have to, completely shut yourself down and go into your own bubble and start dealing with anxiety. But with wisdom, okay, comes preparation. I said that to somebody today. If you don't have the coronavirus right now, if you don't have any symptoms, start taking precautions just in case you do have it. Okay. Now, some people might say to you, they said to me, somebody said online the other day about, well, Joe, I don't want to speak it up. Let's not even talk about it. Well, I gave them this example, right? Let's say you go to a lot of you at home right now, right? Or you're driving in your car. Hopefully you're not watching me while you're driving in your car, you're listening. But when you get out of your car, or when you go into your house at night and you go to bed at night, what do? You set your alarm, right? You set your alarm on your house. You set your alarm on your car. And why do we do that? Okay, it's insurance. It's an insurance policy. Why do we have insurance on our houses? Why do we have insurance on our homes? Because we're preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. Just because you get insurance on your home doesn't mean you want it that you're speaking up the existence that it's going to burn down or your car is going to crash. What has to happen is you have to start understanding that, listen, just be prepared for it. There's nothing wrong with you drinking hot fluids and all those other things that we're talking about a little bit. There's nothing wrong with you taking extra vitamins, like we're going to talk about in a little bit. Just be prepared. Prepare for the worst. Expect the best. All right. That's all I want to talk about. Listen, coronavirus. Okay. When I first got diagnosed with the coronavirus, the one thing that hit me was a little bit of anxiety. Now, you guys know that I talk about anxiety. I talk about depression and things like that. But I don't want you to think that just because someone is positive minded, or somebody's got a good heart, or somebody's always in great shape, that things can't happen to them, or the mind can't take over sometimes. No, I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes there may be something that comes up that can cause anxiety in everybody. And we have to start learning how to respect everyone's different anxieties. We have to start learning how to respect each other's fears, respect each other's concerns, because my fear is not your fear. Right? My anxiety is not your anxiety. What I can control, you may not be able to control. So you need to understand that certain things that people are going through right now, we need to start realizing that we need to start combining our thoughts and trying to figure out how we can help each other get through. We can't just throw a Band-Aid on everybody's situation. We can't just, think that just because somebody got over it, that this person's going to definitely get over it. We have to realize that everybody's going to have different fears. And I'll give you an example of that. My anxiety about being home, being confined in my house. I like to be out and about. I like doing my thing. And some people might say, you know what, Joe? Well, you're lucky to be home, or you're lucky. And I get it. I am. Okay. I am lucky to be here and out of harm's way, but I may not want to be out of harm's way. It's in me to be out helping people. So that's an anxiety for me. My anxiety could be, my car is dirty. Okay. I like to have my car clean. And the other day I walked outside and it looked like a big pterodactyl just dropped on the car. What I'm saying to you is that that's my anxiety. That's my specific thing. And it doesn't mean that it's going to treat you, that you're going to feel the same way about it. So what I'm saying to you is that we have to learn how to respect each other's fears, respect each other's anxieties, respect each other's concerns. And we have to start to help one another get through this. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. If something hasn't hit you in life yet, just keep living. And I'm not wishing it on you. But what I want you to know is that you don't have to wait until you go through something to start feeling what other people are feeling. All right. We really need to pull together with that. So let's talk about, what people are doing right now with their fears. We're watching a lot of TV. Okay. We're watching a lot of social media. I'm starting to see it calm down a little bit on social media about the fears and certain things about the coronavirus. But the more things I'm starting to see fears with right now is, where's the money coming from? People who have realistic problems about they don't have a job. Some people don't have a realistic problem to solve about where the next food is coming, where the next meal is coming from. And we need to realize this, understand something, people. People are really hurting out here, and people are really going through. And I want you to understand that you can help each other. You can reach out. You can start, reaching out to somebody that may need help before they call you, before they ask you something. Start reaching out to each other, because people really, really need to talk about certain things. I've gotten hit up quite a few times this week about certain people who have confessed to me that they have the coronavirus. Okay. Now, they may not come out to you on social media and say, you know what, I have the coronavirus. They may not be as transparent as me, coming out and saying I have the coronavirus, and I have COVID, or I'm suffering at home. But I'm finding that more and more people, more than that are watching, or people that you don't know that are on your feed, that are going through this. And sometimes you need to just be a little bit more sensitive about how people are feeling. Start listening to people, start figuring out how people are changing, and looking at certain people's movements around you and certain things like that. Some people are afraid, and they don't want to admit they're afraid. So all I'm saying to you right now is this, excuse me. All I'm saying to you right now is make sure that you're looking out for the signs. And that includes looking out for the signs for yourself. Excuse me. That includes looking out for the signs for yourself, because you need to realize that you are being exposed on a daily basis. If you are leaving the house, if you're going to work, if you're in a workplace where you need that extra help, okay, you need to give extra help to other people. You are being exposed. So just be careful. Okay. The coronavirus is nothing to play around with. I'm letting you know right now. It's not to be taken lightly. I've had a couple questions come to me about certain things that I've been doing, and certain things that needed to be addressed as far as what's helping me the most. And what I'll do is I'll get a post, I'll get an inbox about, hey Joe, what were your symptoms? What were you feeling, or what are you feeling? And if I usually get a random one like that, I'm probably on the right lines by saying, okay, this person is experiencing something, but they just don't want to open up and say it. So real quick, some of the symptoms that I talked about last week. The first thing that I started to feel was the nose tingle. Okay, I started to feel like a different type of nose tingle. It felt like allergies at first. It felt like just a regular allergy season, like coming from different winter weather into the springtime. It didn't feel anything abnormal to me like that I don't have like on a seasonal basis. That was the first thing I felt. The second thing I felt was, I started getting headaches. Okay, I started to get some small headaches, but I just thought, again, it could have been me getting congested from the allergy season. It could have been me just getting, feeling a certain way about myself. And the following thing after that was I lost my taste and I lost my smell. Okay, and when that happened, I started to really get concerned about certain things that was happening, around me. I couldn't. I said it the other day in my video. I couldn't smell a bottle of bleach. I couldn't smell certain things that the normal human being could smell, and this was causing a concern for me. The following thing after that was when I started to feel feverish. Okay, I started to feel warm, but I wasn't running a full fever yet. I didn't break a fever. I had a low grade fever, probably about 100.1, something like that. And then the following thing after that was the muscle aches, the body aches, and the pain, and then I became real super tired. And then I wanted to sleep all day, and I wanted to stay in bed all day. These are some of the symptoms that I was experiencing, and some of the things that I was going through. And I didn't realize that I had the coronavirus at that time. I had a little inkling in my head that I had the coronavirus, but it didn't come across to me as the coronavirus, because I always had the attitude that I'm not going to get it. Okay. Don't be naive, people. Take care of yourself. Make sure you're setting that alarm system on yourself. Make sure you're taking care of your house at home and your inner body and things like that. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. Another thing that people have been asking me, how was your breathing? Okay. The difficulty breathing for me still comes and goes right now. It's not extreme. It's not extreme for me. It's not to a point where I can't, get my breath, but I can feel it coming on. Like right now, as I'm talking, I can feel it coming on. I can feel certain things, but I'm able to control it to an extent where I'm not too worried about it. I know exactly how to go and get it handled and fix it. And the one thing that I've been doing is, some people laughed, but this is it. The coronavirus does not like heat. Okay. The coronavirus does not like heat in the lungs, heat in the nasal passages. And these are the things that are combating it. Now, again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you what worked for me. I'm telling you from what I've seen. I'm telling you from other stories that I've heard of things that work for me. And the one thing that worked for me the best was taking a hot pot of water, boiling it with ginger. You could put lemon peels in it, orange peels in it. You can put, some people put cayenne pepper in it. Some people put Vicks into it. Whatever your home remedies are that your old folks used to tell you about, all the older folks used to tell you about, and things like that. It's time to put them into play. And what I would do is I would boil the pot of water. I would go in, I would take a towel and put it over top of my head, and I would do the best I can to take deep breaths, to keep breathing in and keep breathing out. And again, these were things that were working for me. Now, it didn't work immediately. Okay, we have to be patient with this. It didn't work immediately in the first 10 seconds, in the first 5 seconds, but after about a minute or so of consistent breathing, after about a minute or so of continuous activity with the breathing, that's when you started to open up. You have to be very, very patient with this if you're going to have it. If you're dealing with this, just understand it's going to take patience. There are some people that you can reach out to here. They want to open up about it, but you need to understand that there are certain processes that this is going to take that you may not be patient with. This is not for the immediate gratification person. All right. This is not for that. You need to understand it's going to take time for you to get better. It's going to take time for you to heal if you do have the coronavirus. But if you don't have the coronavirus, there's nothing wrong with doing these things that I'm telling you about. There's nothing wrong with keeping the system primed and keeping the system ready and understanding that, I'm just getting ready for it. And that way I don't get it to the fullest extent. Part of the reason why I didn't have to go to the hospital was because the second I started feeling these things, I started taking antibiotics. The second I started feeling these symptoms, I started to double up on my vitamins. I started to drink more fluids. I started to drink hot liquids. I cut out the caffeine. There was a bunch of different things that I made changes with, but a part of that process was getting prepared for it, knowing that the coronavirus was out there. Okay, so I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not trying to put you into fear, but what I am saying to you is that there is wisdom in preparation. Always think about what you're going to do if something happens. It doesn't mean that you're speaking it into existence. It doesn't mean that you're going to get it, but you need to prepare for it. All right. Another thing that helped me with my breathing was movement. Okay. If you're not moving around, okay, if you're laying on your back all day, if you wake up in the bed and you wake up from sleeping and you still continue to lay there, I promise you, your breathing is not going to improve. Okay. You are going to have to get up and you're going to have to move around. It's going to suck. You're not going to feel good. You're not going to feel like moving, but you're going to have to get up and you have to start moving. I don't care what it is. Get up, do some stretches, get up, do some calisthenics, get up and do some aerobics. I'm not exactly sure what you have at home, but use the things that you have at home to get yourself moving. All right. Whatever you need to do, you can go outside and walk around your house, walk around in the yard, whatever you got to do. But take some deep breaths, get those lungs moving, because the more sedentary you are, the more that phlegm is going to build up in your body and it's going to settle into your lungs. And when it comes time for you to have a situation, it's going to be more severe than what you expect it to be. All right. So a combination of drinking hot fluids, a combination of aromatherapy and inhalations of hot steams and ginger and lemon and things like that, a combination of movement, getting up and moving around, a combination of taking the vitamins and taking your supplements, and a combination of doing what you're supposed to do as far as that goes. You need to understand, people, that this thing is just not going away. All right. And again, I'm not trying to put fear in you. I'm just giving you wisdom. Okay. I'm speaking from experience. I'm not here to preach to you. I'm just letting you know that this is what it is. Okay. We are in a situation that we have to deal with this, and we're going to get through it. I promise you that we're going to get through it. But how you go through it is going to be totally up to you. All right. When I first got the phone call about having the coronavirus, my first thought was, oh crap. Okay. And then my second thought was, okay, it is what it is. Now what? Because me sitting on the phone and getting upset, me getting on the phone and calling everybody and putting fear into the family, putting fear around amongst my friends, that's not going to help the situation. It is what it is. Now what? Now what do you do? Okay. And this can apply to every situation in your life. Okay. You're going to get hit with some bad news throughout your life. Okay. You're going to hear some things that you don't like. You're going to get some feelings that you don't like. People are going to hurt you. People, you're going to be in some, listen, however it applies to you, you can apply it. But at some point you have to realize that it just is what it is. Now what? Okay, how do we fix it? Okay, and the way you can start to fix it, and the way you can limit some of your fears, is understanding that you just control what you can control. Okay, and whatever you can't control, pray about it. Okay, put it in God's hands, or reach out to somebody else who can help you control it. But all I'm saying to you is this: sometimes the fear that we have is sometimes we get into a worse situation because we want to control everything. Okay, this right now, I can't control that the coronavirus is in the United States. I can't control what our government is doing. Okay, in the White House. I'm not in the White House every day. I can't control what the media is saying. I can complain about it. I can moan about it on social media. But I promise you, the president is not reading your social media feed. Okay, neither is the media, and neither is anybody else. So you need to worry about controlling what you can control. Okay, and you can control how much media you watch. You can control how much time you spend on social media. You can control how you react to the situation. There's certain things you can't control. Let it go, and just let God have it. Okay, because at some point you need to realize it's not helping you to worry about the things you can't control. Now, what can you control about the coronavirus situation? Okay, you can take care of your health. Okay, the best way you possibly can. That is going to be first and foremost. I promise you this. When I was sick a while ago, years ago, 20 years ago, when I was on kidney dialysis, when I had all these things happen in my body, I could have been a millionaire, and it wouldn't have meant nothing to me. It wouldn't have meant anything to me, because you need to realize that money is secondary opposed to your health. Everything else is, you can't have any fun without your health. You can't have, good times without your health. I promise you that. So the first thing you need to worry about right now is worry about your health, because after this, if your health is no good, it's not going to matter what kind of job you have. It's not going to matter how much money you have. Okay. And again, I'm not preaching to you. I'm just speaking from experience. Okay. Take care of yourself. Those are the things that you can control. You can control how you react in the mornings when you wake up in the morning. You can control what you read in the mornings when you first turn over into bed. You don't have to roll over and start reading, about how many people died from the coronavirus, about how many people got sick from the coronavirus. You can wake up, get your mind right, do certain things to get yourself through the day and get your day started correctly. Okay. Start learning how to control what you can control, and everything else, just leave it in God's hands. I'm just letting you know right now. I'm not saying that you got to be over spiritual, Bible thumper, whatever the case is. You handle it the way you handle it. Okay. But what I will tell you is this, speaking from experience: if you can't control it, let it go. Let it go. Every fight is not your fight. Every battle is not your battle. Everybody's conversation is not your conversation. Just let it go. All right. Support systems. Okay. This is my final topic for the night. Okay. Support systems are so important during this time. Okay. And I promise you this, I can tell you this: if it hadn't been for certain people around me, if it hadn't been for friends and family and everybody else that was supporting me, I can't tell you how much I would have been stuck with this thing. Okay. Because I can tell you this, that as much as, again, as positive as a person as I am, as positive as a person as people are, when real life hits, real life hits. Okay. And if you're alone, okay, and if you don't have anybody to talk to, if you don't have anybody to reach out to, or if you don't have somebody to spend that special quality time with, like I've had, listen, let me say something to you right now. It can be a lonely, lonely place. So if you know somebody who's going through, okay, I'm good. Thank you so much. You guys have been great. If you know someone else who is going through, if you know somebody else who needs a conversation, who needs a phone call, if you know somebody else who lives alone and is out there and they're stuck, and you know for a fact that they go home every night and they're by themselves, start reaching out. Okay, start reaching out, because I can tell you this: as bad as my situation is right now, and it's not that bad, okay, there's somebody worse. As bad as your situation is right now, financially or your health, whatever, there's somebody else worse. Okay, let's see how we can help reaching out to other people this week. Let's see what we can do to try to take the attention off of ourselves and all the bad things we're going through. I know the finances are there. Okay. I know you're worrying about your job. Okay. I know you're worrying about a lot of things. I really, really do. My heart goes out to you, all of you, every single one of you. But what about that nurse that works a 16-hour shift and then goes home by herself? What about that doctor who lives alone? What about that grocery worker who's not making a lot of money, but going out there and putting their lives on the line every day? Okay. What about those people that are out here in harm's way each and every day? Okay. Take a moment this week, address your own situations. I'm not telling you to don't worry about your situations. Your situations are real. Okay. But also start learning how to reach out to other people. This is where your blessings are going to come from. Okay. And I can tell you this too from experience. What goes around comes around. And I know for a fact that there's been a lot of good things I've done in my life. I haven't been perfect. I haven't been perfect at all. But there's been some things that I've done that have come back to me, both good and bad. And it got to a point in my life when I said, you know what? I don't want bad to come back to me anymore. Okay. I don't want anything else bad to come back to me anymore. I've been there and I've done that. It doesn't work. And if you think you're going to escape it, you're sadly mistaken. So what I'm saying to you right now is take this time, reflect, spend time with family if you can. Okay. Spend time thinking about the people that you're with if you can. Okay. But if you can't, and you can't, if you have to get out here and you have to do things, make sure you're stopping and saying hello to somebody else. Okay. Drop that mask a little bit and smile at somebody. It's okay. You're not going to catch corona smiling at somebody from 6 to 7 feet away. Okay. Start being human again. Start doing the things that we need. We need human interaction. Some of us are struggling right now because we don't have human interaction. Okay. And while some of you are saying, you know what, good, I don't need human interaction. There are some people out there with a different personality. They need that. They need to be able to talk to somebody. And if they're not able to talk to somebody, if they're not able to give affection, if they're not able to help somebody, that could send them into depression really, really fast. All right. So before we go, I want you guys to realize three things. I'm sorry. Remember, your stressors are not everybody else's stressors. Start having an open mind. Okay. Number 2, take care of your bodies. Okay, please take care of your health, take care of your bodies, and remember that you too can overcome anything you're going through right now, but you got to be smart. Set the alarm system on your body and get it done. And remember, don't let fear control you, people. Control what you can control, and everything else, just leave it in God's hands. All right. I'm Joe Hammond, your boy, JH Overcomes, America's friendliest cop. I will see you when I see you. Reach out to me during the week and I'll reach out to you. And remember, you too can overcome. Peace.